Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a monumental piece of cinema history. A film that's as much a political statement as it is an epic tale of heroism. We're talking about Sergei Eisenstein's 1938 masterpiece, Alexander Nevsky. This film isn't just a movie. It's a powerful symbol, a roaring cry of national pride forged in the tense atmosphere of pre-World War II Europe. Our story begins in the 13th century. The lands of Rus are fractured and vulnerable. From the east, the Mongol horde has left a trail of devastation. From the west, a new, even more menacing threat emerges: the Teutonic Knights. Clad in imposing horned helmets and white cloaks bearing black crosses, these crusaders of the Holy Roman Empire are marching eastward, driven by a fanatic zeal to conquer and convert the Orthodox lands of Novgorod. They are portrayed not as noble knights, but as a brutal, faceless war machine, crushing everything in their path. We first see their cruelty in the conquered city of Pskov. The knights are merciless. They throw babies into bonfires, torture citizens, and establish a tyrannical rule. Their leaders, the bishop and the grand master, are depicted as arrogant and cruel, believing their conquest is a divine right. The people of Pskov are subjugated, their hope dwindling. The message is clear: these invaders are not just conquerors. They are destroyers of culture, faith, and life itself. Amidst this turmoil, where do the people of Novgorod turn? They remember a hero, a prince who had previously defended their lands, Alexander Yaroslevich, known as Nevsky. But Alexander has turned his back on war. We find him not in a grand palace, but living a simple life as a fisherman on Lake Pereyaslav. He believes the greatest threat comes from the Mongols in the east, and is hesitant to fight on another front. A delegation from Novgorod, including two warriors, Vasily Buslai and Gavrilo Oleksik, seeks him out. They plead with him to lead their army against the Teutonic Knights. Initially, Alexander is reluctant. He delivers one of the film's most iconic lines: "Go and tell all in Novgorod, he who comes to us with the sword shall perish by the sword." On this Rus has stood and will forever stand. This powerful declaration signals his change of heart. He understands that neutrality is no longer an option. The very soul of their land is at stake. Alexander agrees to lead the defense. Returning to Novgorod, Alexander is greeted as a savior. He begins to rally the people, not just the soldiers, but everyone. Craftsmen forge weapons, women prepare supplies, and peasants join the ranks. This isn't just a prince's army. It's a people's army, a united front of common folk rising to defend their homes. Eisenstein masterfully shows us the collective spirit of the Russian people. We see the boisterous energy of Vasily Buslai, who promises to knock the Germans around, and the quiet determination of Gavrilo Oleksik. Both men also vie for the affection of a spirited Novgorod woman named Olga Danilovna, who declares she will marry whichever of them proves to be the bravest warrior. This adds a personal human touch to the grand epic struggle. Alexander is a brilliant strategist. He knows his forces are outnumbered and out-equipped by the heavily armored Teutonic Knights. He decides he won't fight them on open ground where their heavy cavalry would have the advantage. Instead, he chooses his battlefield carefully: the frozen surface of Lake Peipus. It's a massive gamble, but a calculated one. And this brings us to the film's legendary centerpiece, the battle on the ice. This sequence is roughly 30 minutes long and is one of the most famous and influential battle scenes in all of cinema. The build-up is incredibly tense. On one side, the Russian infantry and archers wait, a vast sea of determined faces. On the other, the German knights, an imposing, almost inhuman line of steel and crosses, begin their charge. The music, composed by the brilliant Sergei Prokofiev, is absolutely crucial here. It's not just background noise. It's a character in itself, driving the action, swelling with the Russian charge and clashing with the discordant, menacing themes of the invaders. The German knights form their infamous pig's head wedge formation and charge across the ice. The sound of their horns is chilling. They crash into the center of the Russian line, and for a moment, it seems that the defenders will break. But this is all part of Alexander's plan. He allows the center to fall back, drawing the knights further onto the ice. Then he gives the signal. From the flanks, the Russian cavalry, led by Alexander himself, swoops in, encircling the German forces. The trap is sprung. The orderly German formation dissolves into a chaotic, desperate melee. The battle is brutal and visceral. Eisenstein's quick cuts and dynamic camera angles put you right in the middle of the fight. We see individual duels, Vasily Vasilyev fighting with immense strength, and Gavrilo Oleksik battling with courage. The climax of the battle arrives as Alexander faces the Teutonic Grandmaster in single combat. It's a tense, symbolic duel, and ultimately, Alexander prevails, capturing the enemy leader. But the true genius of Alexander's strategy is yet to be fully revealed. The combined weight of the heavily armored knights and their horses is too much for the frozen lake. The ice begins to crack. Under the strain of the battle, great fissures appear, and with a terrifying groan, the ice gives way. The Teutonic knights, trapped in their heavy armor, are swallowed by the freezing water. It's a stunning apocalyptic image. The invaders, who seem so invincible, are consumed by the very land they sought to conquer. The Russian land itself becomes a weapon against them. The remaining German foot soldiers are routed, and the battle is won. The victory is overwhelming. The Russian forces return to a liberated Pskov in triumph. The surviving common soldiers of the Teutonic army are set free, with Alexander telling them to go and spread the word of what happens to those who invade Rus. The captured knights, however, are held to be ransomed, while the treacherous leaders and collaborators are left to the judgment of the people. In the final scene, there is a grand celebration. The heroes are honored. Both Vasily and Gavrilo have proven their bravery, and Olga praises them both. But it's the wounded Gavrilo she chooses, honoring his steady courage over Vasily's boastful strength. Vasily, in good spirits, says he'll find another bride just as good. Alexander Nevsky addresses the cheering crowd, delivering his final, powerful warning, reiterating his famous line that those who come with the sword will perish by it. The film ends on this note of triumphant defiance and national unity. So why was this film so important in 1938? You have to remember the context. Nazi Germany was on the rise, and the Soviet Union was acutely aware of the threat from the West. Alexander Nevsky was a direct allegory. The Teutonic Knights, with their horned helmets reminiscent of German military helmets and their aggressive expansionism, were a clear stand-in for the Nazis. The film was a patriotic rallying cry, a historical epic designed to stiffen the resolve of the Soviet people and warn any potential invaders of the fierce resistance they would face. It was immensely popular and won Eisenstein the Order of Lenin and the Stalin Prize. Interestingly, the film's fate was tied directly to politics. When the Soviet Union signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Non-Aggression Pact with Germany in 1939, the film was promptly pulled from circulation. But when Germany invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, Alexander Nevsky was immediately re-released and became a vital piece of wartime propaganda, its message more relevant than ever. Beyond its political significance, the film is a technical masterpiece. Eisenstein's theories of montage, the art of editing to create symbolic meaning, are on full display. The partnership with composer Prokofiev was groundbreaking, creating a symphonic structure where music and image are inseparable. The score is so iconic that it's often performed as a standalone concert piece called the Alexander Nevsky Cantata. The visual design, especially the contrast between the organic earthy Russians and the cold metallic Germans, is incredibly effective. Alexander Nevsky is a film that operates on so many levels. It's a thrilling historical adventure, a powerful piece of propaganda, and a landmark in the art of filmmaking. It influenced countless epic films that followed, from Laurence Olivier's Henry V to Spartacus and even Star Wars. It's a testament to the power of cinema to not only tell a story but to shape a nation's spirit in a time of crisis. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do. It's a monumental film that still resonates with power and passion today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a cinema classic, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Let me know in the comments what you think of Alexander Nevsky, or if there are other classic films you'd like me to cover. See you in the next video.